Hi guys, in this video, we're going to practice Edit Panel tool. With this tool, we can cut the outside, inside, or on the surface of the panel. Or we can even make flexible MDF boards. And the main purpose of this tool is to create our own customized components that can be customizable later. For example, this is a smart component, and when I resize it, larger or smaller, then the pattern inside is going to change accordingly without any deformation. Besides, I can also change the dimensions of the patterns itself. For example, so how to do it? For example, to make this shaker style door, we're gonna need to draw only one line to define a shape of the pattern, and then use tools and one-click smart offset to create the cut line for the whole pattern. In order to draw a customizable cut line like this, we're going to draw guidelines from top down, from bottom up, from left to right, and from right to left, using basic math formulas. Firstly, we're going to set up tools and shortcuts. Go to Extensions, one click, and Setting. In Tool Setup, to add a new tool, select Add Tool. And we can name it and type in the tool diameter. For example, T4, tool number 4, tool diameter 8. Select the type for it, and mills, rivet, or foam tool. And if it's a rivet tool, we need to type in the exact angle of the tool. And to delete the tool, select the icon, the bin at the end. And it's going to be saved successfully. Next, for shortcut, first we need a panel. Select Edit Panel. Then select the panel, for example the door. Go to Shortcut. In the function box, we can create shortcuts for these functions. For example, undo. And a shortcut is the combination of two keys, Ctrl Z for example, then add shortcut. Next, type in the value for snap distance, 10 for example. Now let's move on to Edit Panel. Select the tool, Edit Panel, then select the panel. In the Tools tab, first we have the Paths tools to create paths and Line tools to create lines for the pattern. Next, we have some tabs for reference and tool database setup. And this area is for drawing. This green line refers to the height of the panel, and the red line refers to the width of the panel. In Information tab, Job Type, now we are working on the shape or the face of the panel, so the job type is Shape Face. But if you work on a bent part, then it's gonna be bend. For this one, we can make flexible MDF boards. Now back to this panel. Frame width, height, or depth are the dimensions of the whole frame that contains the panel. Width, height, and depth are the dimensions of the panel that we are working on. And material thickness is the thickness of the board material. To draw the shape of the panel, first, identify the origin point. Left-click on the ruler and then type in the dimension 0. Then hit Enter key. Then left-click on the ruler on the top 0. So this is the origin point, and every other dimension starts from this point. So for the width, 349.6, left-click on the ruler. You can drag it like this. Then type in the dimension. Hit Enter key. Then this is the width of the panel. And for the height, 500. The ruler from top, 500. Enter. Then this is the shape of the panel. But if we type in the fixed dimensions, then when we change the size of the panel, the pattern is gonna be deformed. So to make a smart component with a pattern that can change when we change the size of the panel, we're going to use variable. In tab variable, there are some system variables already. W for width, H for height, D for material thickness, and FW, FH, and FD. And for these guidelines, we can delete them in Guides tab. This shows all the lines that we have drawn. And to delete any, hit this icon. And we can also hide or unhide the guideline. So to draw the shape of the panel, which is customizable, select the ruler, and for the width, type in W. Hit Enter. For the height, it's H. Hit Enter. And we can also add our own variables as long as they're not similar to the system variables. For example, the first one, variable name. There are some rules for the variable name. Refer to the box, D1, label, distance 1, and the default value that we can change later, 50, add new. So D1 is the variable that we use for drawing. So the D1 distance starts from this origin. Then it's gonna be D1. So D1 from the other side will be W subtract D1. We use math formulas. And for the height, D1. And H subtract D1. And a guideline here, H subtract double D1. So D1 multiply 2. And a vertical line in the middle. So it's gonna be W divided by 2. When the guidelines intersect each other, we get a red point like this. Another variable, D2, label distance 2, and default value 40 milli. And do similarly, D2, or maybe this is 30, so in the box value, we can type in a new value and then hit enter. Then it's gonna be adjusted. And from the other side, W subtract D2. Now use the line tools to connect the points. For a straight line, line tool, select it, then connect the 2 points to make a straight line. Next, for an arc, we have several tools here. For example, an arc that goes through this point 1, 2, 3. Then we've got 3 points arc. Connect these 2 points first, and then drag it to the point in the middle. I'm gonna do some demonstrations for other tools. For example, 2 points arc. Select the tool, 2 points arc. Select the center of the circle, then connect the 2 others. So we have created some paths which we can see in a Path tab. Hide or show them. We can delete them here. Or use select the line, and hit delete key on the keyboard. For 2 points arc, without the center point of the circle, select it. For any line that is on the left half of the circle, select the first point at the top and the second point at the bottom. Then type in the radius, 200 for example. Again, for the left half of the circle, first point at the top and second point at the bottom. And type in radius, 100 for example. And for the lines on the right half of the circle, then select the point at the bottom first, then the point at the top. Again, select the point at the bottom, then the point at the top. For circle tool, select it, select the center of the circle, enter the radius value, add new. For ellipse, also select the focus of the ellipse and type in Rx and Ry values, 200 and 100. For ellipse right, left, top or bottom, select the tool and select the 2 points on the x-axis. Type in the value 50 for example. And for ellipse top, 2 points on the y-axis. Then type in the value. And do similarly for other ellipse parts. Next, set up tool database and tool template tool database consists of all the tools that we need to cut this pattern. For example, the first one, VBit, cut depth, and T2, VBit 36. Based on the tool database, the software is going to suggest the maximum cut depth. Then I'm gonna use it 10.39, and cutting type, cut inside. And for this VBit line, and for this VBit cut, I want the corners to be sharpened. Then tick sharp corner. And another tool, it's cut, and tool T1, cut depth 6 milli, and cutting type, cut outside. Cut depth, for example. It's okay now. And tool template is how we arrange the tools to cut the parts one by one respectively to create the whole pattern. For example, add new, it's door pattern. First, I use the cut line, offset 0, and from that cutting path, I use VBit, offset 6 milli, add new. Then the CNC router is going to perform these cuts respectively. After that, use Select Tool to select the whole pattern. If we create a single path, select Path. Whether it's an outer or inner loop or a custom path, face A or B, and select the tool path. But in this case, I need to use the Smart Offset cutting path to create multi-cutting paths, and apply it on face A, add new, then apply. This is just an example. And in Path tab, we can also hide or show the path that we have created or delete it. Or we can clean all the pattern by selecting Clean Pattern and confirm yes. Select Apply. So this is how we use Edit Panel tool to create our own components. For other tool instructions, see you in the next videos.